Excited for the opportunity to play. Obviously, it's tough as well. Create friends in this business, and there's an emotional side to it. But at the same time, I'm a firm believer that God has a plan for all of us, and trust that He's called me for this moment. And just like I said, excited for the opportunity.
How's the knee?
Feels good. Yeah, knee feels good.
What's it like for you going back to the place where it all started for you?
It's a full circle moment for sure. Thankful for my time in Baltimore. I learned a lot from the coaches there, to the players within that locker room. Learned a lot about football. Learned a lot about how to carry myself off the field as well too. Like I said, just forever thankful for the 4 years that I spent there. I have a lot of friends in that building still. It's been a while since I went back there to play, but yeah, I mean it's an opportunity for us. Have a very good team, and we're looking forward to stepping up to the challenge this weekend.
You talked about making friendships in this business. You've been able to talk to Justin, kind of give him some advice on how to deal with what's going on with the ups and downs of it all?
Not necessarily right away. Me and Justin have a open line of communication, and the conversation will come at some point. We spend time together in the off season as well as in season too. Right now, in my mind and my focus right now is just being able to get everyone on the same page at offense where we could go out and execute at a high level. But that conversation will come. All I can do is just share the things that I've been through, and hopefully that helps his experience and helps him in the long run. He's a tremendous player, and I think in this league he has a lot of good football ahead of him. Like I said, God has a timing for everything. I truly believe that.
How do you think the offense has struggled, and what do you hope to be able to do in this role?
It's hard to pinpoint. I think at the end of the day, it boils down to a lack of consistency from an execution standpoint. I think that you've seen flashes throughout the previous weeks that we've had, but consistently we haven't been able to put it together. And that's my approach this week. Executing at a high level and doing it consistently to put ourselves in the best position to go out and put points on the board each drive and ultimately win the game. No game is pretty. Obviously, from a fan perspective or from a media perspective, you want it to be 300 yards passing, 100-plus yards running. At the end of the day, it's about getting the job done from a win column, and that looks different. But at the end of the day, we have to be consistent on offense in all three phases. It's not just a one-phase game. But to answer your question, on offense, we have to consistently play at a high level.
How do you go about doing that? You mentioned the lack of consistency.
Yeah, details, and it starts with practice. I think that today we had a very detail-oriented practice, and it's about getting on the same page. There's some new faces on offense. Some pieces have moved around, but ultimately it's about getting on the same page with everyone, whether that's staying later, communicating, just getting on the same page so when we take our practice reps to the field, we can trust one another and go out there and play free.
How challenging is that with guys? Some of the receivers just got here a couple weeks ago, right? They did their training camp with you. How challenging is it getting to the same page with everybody?
It's a challenge, but I mean it's a challenge that we welcome. It's the name of the game. No one's having any sympathy for us. We brought those guys in because we expect them to contribute and have big roles in this offense. And they're doing. Mechie has been great. AD has been great. Everybody across the board has been attentive and want to get it right. It's just about us going out there and doing it.
There's only a handful of guys left from your draft class that are still playing. How much of a source of pride is it that you're in the starting role after all these years?
Thankful. Very thankful. I've had a chance to just think about that a little bit last few days. I actually talked to one of my old Baltimore teammates last night, Torrey Smith, very good friend of mine. Yeah, I mean, from that draft class, 2011 draft class, like you said, there's only a couple of us left. Just thankful for the opportunity. I remember when I got drafted, there were some people that wanted to put me at wide receiver. I fought the notion down, and I stood firm that I was a quarterback. That was what I had played my whole life. I just knew that if given the opportunity, I could show that. And 15 years later, I'm still proving it. And I welcome those challenges. And like I said, just truly just thankful for the opportunity.
Back in 2011, did you envision playing this long?
Nah, you know what? I never had a amount of years that I wanted to play. I always said as long as I truly enjoyed ball, I wasn't playing through injury, and then I enjoyed the prep of a season, that I would continue to keep playing. I never walked into it with a number of years. This is a kid's dream. I still get to do the things that I was doing when I was 5 years old, like begging my mom to take me out to practice. I get to do that for a living. So yeah, I just taking a stride each year. Never had a amount of years that I wanted to play.
And given that information that you've been here so long, that you have this opportunity, how much are you looking forward to taking advantage of it? And you talk about being grateful for it. Mm-hmm. There's also that element of taking advantage of it.
100%. Taking advantage of the opportunity is everything. Just the opportunity itself, obviously, thankful for, but being able to go out there and lead this locker room, lead this offense in a way that represents what we talk about daily in our meetings, in a way that I know that I'm capable of doing, means the world to me. So I take tremendous pride in getting things right and doing things the right way day in and day out to be able to take advantage of the opportunities when they present themselves.
Take a couple more.
What are your thoughts on, this is off the beaten path, but I'm sure the people in that part of the country want to hear your opinion on Virginia Tech football and the new coach there. What are your thoughts on that?
I didn't know where you was going with that. I'm happy. I'm happy for the Hokies. I like that hire, Coach Franklin. From what I've heard, is a tremendous coach, and hopefully he can get things going in the right direction for our program. I just want our fan base to be patient with them. I know college football has kind of got a little impatient with their coaches, and I think that there's some similarity or some familiarity with where he's recruited in that area, that part of the country. So hopefully we can get some guys in and just strengthen the program overall. And I think that he's the right person for it.
I'm sorry if this was already asked. What do you think about the way the offensive line's been coming?
I'm sorry, one more time.
What do you think about the way the offensive line's been coming together throughout the season?
Yeah, I think that they've battled week in and week out. The run game has been a strong point of ours, as well as just, overall blocking. We've had our ups and downs in the past game, but those guys have competed, have a healthy group, and they take the challenges that we've had previous and the ones that we're going to have coming up. They take those challenges to heart, and I love the way they battle, love the communication. Just a close group, and going to lean on them for the remainder of this season for sure.
How do you feel about going back to Baltimore?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Honestly, I haven't thought too much about playing there. It's just been mainly focusing on the game plan and whatnot. But yeah, it'll be a good opportunity for all of us.
What's that atmosphere like at M&T Bank Stadium?
Yeah, it's a hell of an environment. The fans get really into it. Yeah, it's a good environment to play in.
Speaking of the game plan, you obviously played with Lamar Jackson. What problems does he present for a defense?
What problems?
What do you guys have to guard against with him?
Yeah, I think just the obvious. He can make plays with his legs. He can extend plays. So we just have to be good with our technique and eyes and just our rules. Yeah, it does. But then again, it's just the next opponent, and so we got to take care of the next opponent, and it happens to be Baltimore, and so I'm excited for that.
What did playing for Baltimore? Darren talked about how that's an organization that's attractive to you. What did playing for Baltimore do for you?
What's it like playing for him?
Yeah.
It was great, personally just playing for him. Just learning from the vets that I had while I was there, really taught me a lot, and it taught me a lot, not only things just on the field, but off the field that I still carry to today. But yeah.
What do you think it's going to be like walking in that building, especially in the visiting locker room, especially to spend all so much time?
Yeah, it's honestly, I've always wondered what the visiting locker room looked like. You know, I've never been on that side, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome. You know, it's you know, these are games that you dream of. You know, and yeah, we'll be ready for it.
What would the challenge be like for your offense, your team's offense? Because you were on defenses that would benefit from all that noise. So what's the challenge for the Jets offense in that place with that crowd and all that noise?
Yeah, I mean it's it gets a little funky, you know, on third downs for sure. But we can't let the noise, you know, affect us, you know, and I'm sure they're saying that on the offense side of the ball. So I'm sure that they'll have, you know, talks about that, but yeah, it shouldn't affect too much.
This team has been through so much this year, including the trades, and two-game winning streak, and then the loss in New England. What's the mood around this team right now? Going up against another tough competitor.
Yeah, I mean the message each week is, you know, go 1-0 each week, and so we're not letting, you know, our record affect who we are. You know, we still have to put our brand of football on tape. And you know, we're going to continue to do that, and we just have to continue to, you know, just you know, put this team in the right position to get a win, and so that's how we're going about it.
How do you approach defending Lamar? I mean, you got to focus on your assignment in the secondary, but he's always a threat to take off running. So how do you balance those two things?
Yeah, I think it's you know, we have a good game plan for that, but yeah, it's going to take, you know, everybody doing their job, you know, and you know, all hats to the football, and you know, that's what we preach every week, and so yeah, I think we just have to, you know, play our technique, play our keys, have good eyes first and foremost, and that should take care of it.
How much are you indebted to Baltimore, because you came in the league as a raw corner, you played running back in college a lot, and you kind of grew there, and then the Jets got the really polished version of Brandon Stevens, and some of that development was in Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, you know, I've had a lot of vets, you know, in my career when I was there that, you know, really showed me the ropes, and so that's something I'll be forever grateful for. You know, to get me to the point where I am here now, you know, here I am year 5, and so yeah, truly grateful for them, but you know, my main focus is being here and, you know, being a Jet and taking what I know now and giving it to you know, these young guys here and other players as well.
I'm just going to ask Chris Boyd, and you know, just what happened. How much is he in your thoughts, like as a team and teammate?
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers are obviously with him. I haven't heard too much about everything, you know, but yeah, thoughts and prayers with him. So.
You were very emotional on Twitter about what happened the other day. What are your thoughts now that things might be in a better place with the teammate?
Yeah, my first thought was, I mean, he just had a child, and you know, I'm about to have a child, and like many of my teammates and, you know, many of you, y'all have children, and that was just my first thought. So I just wanted to pray and, you know, get that out there. I know prayers are very strong, and, you know, the more people that send prayers his way, you know, I know God's going to do a great job with him and everything like that. But he texted me, and, you know, that was a big, you know, sigh of relief. So it was good to get that text from him.
What's he been like? I mean, he went on IR before the season started, and he's new to the team. So what kind of role has he played? Mentor, guy to lean on, stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, just great special team ace. Takes his job very seriously. Great locker room guy. And great friend and teammate.
What kind of challenge? Obviously, it's a huge challenge. But as a defensive end, what is your mindset facing such a great player? Could do so many creative things with the ball.
Yeah, I mean, just got to do your job the best of your ability. A lot of guys, they like to do something called cage and, you know, just stay in front of them as a defensive line. And, you know, to me, I think you just got to throw your stuff and you still got to go get them, you know. But he's definitely very dynamic in the backfield, very dynamic, extending plays with his legs. You know, I've been doing extra running, you know, staying off sugary drinks and stuff like that, getting ready for him. Very special player. But, you know, I have all the confidence for all the guys in this room, in this locker room, to get the job done. Yeah. You just got to stay active, man. Stay active, high motor, keep going. Especially in the Cleveland game, I seen Miles getting after him, and he was just very active. It didn't happen instantly. On all of those, he was very active. Lamar was extending the play, and he ended up getting home. So just staying active, high motor, and doing your job at a high level.
How cool is it to face a guy like that? I mean, you're not in awe of any opponent, but he's a legendary guy, Lamar Jackson. How cool is it just to face him and compete against him?
Yeah, it's super cool. He was actually my first NFL career sack, so it's super cool that's just the case. So I'm looking to get one or two more on Sunday against him. Just doing my job at high level. I know everybody's focused on the 1 of 11, bringing this defensive unit to where we believe it can be.
Everybody good?
How much did that help that you had to take from last week with Miles? Was able to get after him a little bit?
Yeah, definitely helps a lot. Miles is, again, very generational, does things at a very elite and special level. So just being able to watch that and take that from the game, see how he approached those guys. And, you always want to take what you can from a performance like that and apply it to you.
How important is it to not run past them, get too aggressive, go upfield, and give them those escape lanes?
Yeah, when you get back there with a mobile quarterback, especially like Lamar, it's all about changing your stride, coming under control. A lot of times when he's shaking those guys, they're a little out of control, not great pad level. So just really fundamental things like that is on my mind. Yeah. I mean, that's more of a personal thing. I just, I'm chasing after a lot of guys as the season's going on, and I just want to shed off any kind of weight that's slowing me down, so I can, turn those hurries or hits or pressures into sacks, because I can do that. So, and especially this is a guy like we've been talking about this week. It's very important.